Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Learn Math with Doc Gilma. Are you ready, class, for the next lesson? So if you're ready, just sit back, relax, and listen carefully to the topic to be discussed for today. Alright, let's begin. The topic I will be discussing for today's lesson is all about principal roots and irrational numbers. On principal end roots, or what we call the radicals, we have here the nth root of b. Take note, class, the square root is simply what we call the radical sign. b is simply the radicand, and n is simply what we call the index. So take note of that. Nth root of b. Perfect squares and their principal positive roots. 0 times 0, 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, and 6 times 6. 0 times 0 is 0. So therefore, the square root of 0 is equal to 0. 1 times 1 is 1. So square root of 1 is equal to 1. 2 times 2 is 4. So square root of 4 is equal to 2. 3 times 3 is 9. So square root of 9 is equal to 3. 4 times 4 is 16. So square root of 16 is equal to 4. 5 times 5 is 25. So square root of 25 is equal to 5. 6 times 6 is 36. So square root of 36 is equal to 6. Take note, class, 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25, and 36 are what we call perfect squares. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are what we call the principal positive roots. Consider perfect squares and their negative roots. 0 times 0, negative 1 times negative 1, negative 2 times negative 2, negative 3 times negative 3, negative 4 times negative 4, negative 5 times negative 5, negative 6 times negative 6. As you can see, class, 0 times 0 is 0, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9, negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16, negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25, negative 6 times negative 6 is positive 36. So from here, class, the square root of 0 is 0. The square root of 1 is simply equal to negative 1. The square root of 4 is negative 2. Square root of 9 is negative 3. Square root of 16 is negative 4. Square root of 25 is negative 5. Square root of 36 is negative 6. As you can see, we have here 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, and 36 are perfect squares. And we have here the negative roots of the perfect squares. Perfect squares are numbers whose two factors are the same or equal. Thus, we have here 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 144, 169, 196, 225, and so forth and so on are all perfect squares. So we can say the square root of 0 is 0. The square root of 1 is simply plus and minus 1. The square root of 4 is simply plus and minus 2. The square root of 9 is plus and minus 3. The square root of 16 is plus and minus 4. The square root of 25 is plus and minus 5. And the square root of 36 is plus and minus 6. While non-perfect squares are numbers whose two factors are not the same or not equal, the square roots of non-perfect squares are irrational numbers. Take note of that. Examples: 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and so forth and so on are all non-perfect squares. And take note, the square roots of these are irrational numbers. Approximating the square roots of non-perfect squares. The principal roots of non-perfect squares are between two integers. Now, let's consider an exercises. Let's have exercise number 1. Find two integers where the following irrational numbers lie. Number 1. Square root of 20. Take note, class, square root of 16 is equal to 4 and square root of 25 is equal to 5. Square root of 20 is between square root of 16 and square root of 25. Hence, square root of 20 is between 4 and 5. So take note of that. Consider number 2, the here square root of 50. Take note, square root of 49 is equal to 7 and square root of 64 is equal to 8. Also, square root of 50 is between square root of 49 and square root of 64. Hence, square root of 50 is between 7 and 8. Number 3. Square root of 75. Take note, class, square root of 64 is equal to 8 and square root of 81 is equal to 9. And take note, square root of 75 is between square root of 64 and square root of 81. So therefore, class, square root of 75 is between 8 and 9. Consider square root of 143 for number 4. Take note, square root of 121 is equal to 11 and square root of 144 is equal to 12. Take note that square root of 143 is between square root of 121 and square root of 144. Hence, we can say that square root of 143 is between 11 and 12. Consider number 5, square root of negative 10. In this particular case, class, take note, square root of negative 10 is an imaginary number. So therefore, no number between square root of negative 10 since it is just an imaginary number. So take note of that. Consider exercises number 2. Approximate the square root of the following irrational numbers to the nearest 10. Number 1. Square root of 20. Take note, square root of 20 is between square root of 16 and square root of 25. Take square root of 16, which is equal to 4, be the whole number for the value of square root of 20. Then subtract 16 from 20 and consider it as your numerator to get the decimal value of square root of 20. So we have 20 minus 16 is equal to 4. Then subtract 16 from 25 and consider it as your denominator. 5 minus 16 is equal to 9. The last step will be the quotient of 4 over 9, which is simply 0.444, which is a repeating decimal. So therefore, class, the square root of 20 is just equal to 4.444, or simply 4.4. So take note of that. Number 2, square root of 50. Take note, class, square root of 50 is between square root of 49 and square root of 64. Take square root of 49, which is equal to 7, be the whole number for the square root of 50. Subtract 49 from 50 and consider it as your numerator. 50 minus 49 is equal to 1. Subtract 49 from 64 and consider it as your denominator. 64 minus 49 is equal to 15. Find the quotient of 1 over 15, which is 0.0666. So therefore, class, the approximate value of square root of 50 is just equal to 7.0666, or simply 7.1. Number 3, square root of 75. Take note, square root of 75 is between square root of 64 and square root of 81. Take square root of 64 be equal to 8, which is simply your whole number for the square root of 75. Subtract 64 from 75 and consider it as your numerator. 75 minus 64 is just equal to 11. Subtract 64 from 81 and consider it as your denominator. 81 minus 64 is equal to 17. Last step, find the quotient of 11 over 17, which is simply 0.647058. Therefore, class, the approximate value of square root of 75 is simply equal to 8.64705888, simply 8.6. Consider number 4, square root of 143. Take note, class, square root of 143 is between square root of 121 and square root of 144. Take square root of 121, which is equal to 11, be the whole number for the approximate value of square root of 143. Subtract 121 from 143 and consider it as your numerator. 143 minus 121 is just equal to 22. Subtract 121 from 144 and consider it as your denominator. 144 minus 121 is just equal to 23. Then, last step, find the quotient of 22 over 23, which is 0.956521. Therefore, class, the approximate value of the square root of 143 is simply equal to 11.956521 or approximately equal to 12.0. Alright, class, that's all for today. I hope you have learned something for today's lesson. Next meeting, I will be discussing more about grade 7 mathematics. Stay safe, everyone, and God bless us all.